The film starts with a massive explosion that destroys 70% of the moon, giving it its permanent crescent moon appearance. Back on Earth, the Japanese military attempts to fight an unknown monster, but all of the troops are wiped off by an octopus clone. The monster, is accused of being the perpetrator of the moon's devastation, as well as plots to destroy Earth. At Trinity Gigliola Junior High, one of Tokyo's most renowned private schools, pupils, particularly those in their third year, are expected to succeed in all areas of their study or be sent to a remedial class called Class 3. Class 3 pupils, you will study in a separate building approximately a kilometer away from the main school building. Surprisingly, the same monster with a yellow rounded face that destroyed the moon and plans to do the same to Earth by March next year is going to be the teacher for the Class 3 students. Totomi Karasuma, a representative from the Ministry of Defense, explains that the monster's speed is unrivaled and urges the students from the class to kill the strange creature before it kills them. Next year, the creature adds that he has agreed with the government to teach at Class 3E in order to postpone his plan to destroy the Earth in order to murder. Before the yellow thing leaves, the students must utilize specially produced ammunition and weaponry from the Ministry of Defense that are safe to people but lethal to the yellow creature. The payoff for a successful assassination is mentioned by Kirishima. Would be 10 billion, which urged all pupils to help the students. Arena, a talented assassin, is also recruited to assassinate the beast, but she fails. Arena has now taken up a part-time job as an English teacher. Following that, the class is officially known as Assassination Classroom. Nagisa is the film's primary character. Despite his meek and timid demeanor, he is a keen observer. He pays close attention to his new teacher in order to understand his motivations, and records everything in his notes. The first killing attempt occurs when the yellow creature is teaching at the class equipped with a knife and bombs installed on Nagisa. He approaches his teacher to submit his assignment and suddenly his friend detonates the bombs, almost killing Nagisa himself, but the plan fails because the teacher manages to avoid the explosion. Not to mention the unsuccessful effort. It also irritates the teacher since it almost kills one of his students. He threatens to murder all of the pupils and their family if they do such stupid things again. Because the monster appears to be unkillable and is also a teacher, the class names him Koro-sensei. Despite knowing he is the main target of the assassination, Koro-sensei is able to bond with Class 3, who view him as their important instructor throughout the school year. Karma Akabane, who was formerly a student in a class and has recently been released from suspension for saving a former Class 3E student from bullying, enters the class. He is an extremely clever pupil, as seen by his ability to fool Koro-sensei when they meet for the first time. For the first time, despite his academic success, Karma appears haughty and overconfident. Poor sensei then tries to fix his bad attitude in several ways. After school, Karma and Nagisa are approached by Koro-sensei. Karma asks whether the teacher would risk his life to protect one of his students and challenge him to do so. His objective is to place Koro-sensei in a vulnerable position and then try to murder him. Karma leaps from the cliff while pointing his rifle at the instructor, but Koro-sensei manages to save his student. Even when his plan fails because to his incredibly elastic infinite tentacles, Karma does not give up and warns the beast that he will kill him. Because Karasuma's method isn't working, his boss decides to send a transfer student to the Class 3E to kill the beast. Ritsu is an AI that has been put in a box. Ritsu has been designed to only target Koro-sensei and is armed with a variety of powerful military weaponry. But the teacher manages to avoid all of the gunshots. Ritsu's appearance makes pupils uneasy since it continues to fire during class. The pupils must even pick up the bullets later. As a result, the classmates decide to bind her with duct tape and a chain. One day, Koro-sensei approaches, reads to, and advises it to collaborate with other pupils. Koro-sensei then feeds tons of data to the AI. Ritsu can now convey certain emotions, as she discovered the next day. She also develops a phone application in order to strengthen her connection with the pupils. When the class is going to begin, an unusual student named Aitoner enters the classroom unexpectedly. He claims to be stronger than Koro-sensei and dares him to a battle after class. Tentacles, it turns out, are Atono's men as well. When the hapless sensei sees the tentacles, he becomes enraged and asks the Tone where the tentacles came from. But Antonia ignores Koro-sensei and continues to assault. He almost murders Koro-sensei and trapped the chorus-sensei, but Koro-sensei beats the boy with the same weapon the students use and throws him out of class. Itana is then let out from the school by his White Cloak guardian. After losing the mat. After school, poor sensei is questioned by his pupils about his true aim to teach the lesson. He responds that he does this to keep a commitment he made to someone about becoming closer to his students. Flora Sensei runs an assassination training camp in which he teaches each student individually with targeted modifications for their weakest subjects. Kora Sensei goes into the girls' dormitory one night and is pushed by the female students to disclose his love life experiences, but he avoids the question and flees. Takaoka, an experienced drill inspector specializing on PE, takes over Karasuma's position a few seconds later because he is making little progress in the assassination operation. Takota appears to be happy at first and to pay close attention to his students. Arena delves more into Takokat's past and discovers that he is a violent individual. Takaoka's true character is revealed as he physically abuses one of his students. Instead, Kirishima manages to stop him from doing something far worse to the pupils. As one of the pupils, Kirishima recognizes Nagasa's assassination talent and challenges him to a bout with the nasty instructor. He manages to drag Takota down with words in an unexpected action. Because Nagasa triumphs, the teacher is forced to quit the institution in humiliation. The next day, Okuda, one of the pupils, brings Kora-sensei a poison, which turns out to be sodium hydroxide, and begs him to swallow it instead of murdering him. The poison just increases Koro-sensei's potency by stimulating his cells. Koro-sensei then starts his class, but the pupils interrupt him and question why they need to study if they can receive 10 billion. Koro-sensei gathers all of his pupils, including Arena and Kirishima, to the field after killing him to inspire them. He argues that a self-assured assassin would always have a backup plan on which they can rely. This backup refers to the future lesson that the pupils will study. If they are not the one who kills chores, they will. Day Floor Sensei also demonstrates his abilities to acquire military equipment, reminding the pupils that they must succeed in all areas in order to be superb assassins and murder them. The final test is approaching, and Floor Sensei promises that the top pupils in 5 academic disciplines will be given the opportunity to chop off his tentacles, which will substantially slow him down, increasing the likelihood of assassinating him. Since then, Core Sensei has used his simulated speed ability to provide his pupils with first-hand learning experiences by transporting them to locations where they may learn specific subjects directly. The final exam results have been revealed. Nakamura, Okuda, and Karma scored the highest in English, science and maths. There are 3 additional students that excelled in home economics. As a result, the 6 pupils will be able to eliminate Core Sensei's tentacles. One of the students advises planning the killing during the summer vacation, and the class agrees that preparations are being made to ensure that the assassination would be effective with the proper approach. The execution date has arrived. They eventually manage to tie Kora Sensei and launch the assault. Because of Maggie's observation, the class discovers one of the sensei's vulnerabilities, water, and turns the arena into a water park for the last strike. 2 pupils fired their final rounds, causing Core Sensei to explode. To escape being, Kora's sensei changes into a ball, which is his ultimate form. Taka and his friends unexpectedly face Class 3E, claiming to be the perpetrator who poisoned numerous pupils. Totoko proposes exchanging the antidotes for Koro Sensei. While the other students strive to discover a cure for the poisoned kids, Nagasa and Karma band up to protect Koro Sensei from Itona, who is now working for Takioka. However, Nagasa and Karma are no match for Itone's power as they fight to beat him. But, as planned, a heavy rain falls, weakening Itone's tentacle power near the conclusion of the conflict, allowing Nagasa to chop off Itone's tentacles. Unfortunately, Ritsu informs them that Takaoka has kidnapped one of the pupils and threatens to murder her. They were able to fool Taka and the pupils because to Maggie's intellect. I managed to flip the table, punishing Takaoka and his colleagues with their weapons are brought to the military installation at the end of the film by Floor Sensei. Because the authorities sees Kora Sensei as vulnerable, he is executed publicly in front of his weeping pupils. Poor Sensei concludes by stating that his students had made excellent progress over the semester. However, it is not that simple to kill Laura, sir. He survives the execution and is permitted to continue teaching Class 3 for the second term, re-establishing the assassination classroom with the Toner now permanently enrolled. This movie ends here.